to the track. Gives you online, mobile tablet, and connected TV insight to everything happening at the racetrack. That's NBC Sports app.
It's a great way to watch.
Absolutely. Matt DiBenedetto coming out from the garage. The 88 has Dale Earnhardt Jr. not only above the door on the windshield, but has Jeff Gordon behind the wheel, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. still suffering from concussion-like symptoms, so he has not been in the race car for the past 3 weeks now. Jeff Gordon filling in. They will make a decision next week as to who will be driving in Watkins Glen.
And Jeff, I don't know if it is Jeff Gordon's driving style, the way he keeps his hands very affixed to the wheel on both sides, doesn't move his right hand over. But yesterday we were watching on the in-car camera here of this 88, and there seemed to be a lot of steering wheel movement, more than other cars. We've seen cars correct to the right, and you see some steering wheel movement. But watch Jeff Gordon as he enters the corner. It looks a little bit calmer today. It looks a little bit tighter, but you see, still calmer than yesterday, but still a lot of movement in that right hand.
And the other thing, Steve, that I noticed is that how late he shifts. Like,
downshifts.
Yeah, see that? He doesn't shift until the middle of 3, and that just seemed really late to me. Now, I think he's won a few races here, so I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. So, but it just surprised me to see him shift as late as he does. Normally, you'll see drivers shift well before they get to the center of the corner, but watch Jeff right here get it in turn 1. A lot of drivers have shifted by now. He's coming in right now, but he shifts a little later than most drivers do.
Jeff, I actually got to speak to the 88 team before this practice started, and I asked, hey, what's the plan here? Obviously, race runs. They said, sure, we're going to do race runs, but we want to make sure to get Jeff a lot of laps. And I said, why? He's a 6-time winner here. Why would he need a lot of laps? They said, well, one of the things we think has been a little bit of a problem for us is that the philosophy of what we're doing setup-wise is so different than what we had last year that it's just taking a little bit of time for him to really feel it out at this racetrack, as we talked about yesterday, having the rhythm of shifting, etc., and being able to give them the right feedback back. So it's definitely a sort of a learning curve, but obviously they have a very experienced winner here, and I think they're feeling pretty confident if they get the car right, they'll have a good car for the race.
So here you have a multi-time champion, right? And this is why I try to explain to people how hard driving a race car is, how hard setting a race car up is. If you come back like you were 2 years ago, you're going to run off. You have to constantly be evolving. And the little bit of time that Jeff Gordon's been out of the race car, things have changed that much. And that's why that garage is so competitive. That's why it's, to be honest with you, so fun to be part of, because all those people in there are trying to beat each other, and through that technology and all the things are available to them they use. But it moves so quickly. I mean, he's only been out of the car for half a year.
Right.
And he needs to adjust to the new setups that we have. That's how quickly things change.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually tweeted earlier an update on how he is doing. It says, no change lately. Symptoms have plateaued over the last week. Balance, gaze stabilization are only issues. Docs preaching patience. So be patient. And we say that word so many times around a racetrack and with drivers, and again you'll say, how does a race car driver who wants to do everything faster, wants to be better than everyone else, how do you have patience as a race car driver?
Well, I think you're seeing Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to exercise patience. We're getting more frequent updates. We've heard a lot on this podcast the last few weeks, and here's another tweet maybe in the middle of those podcasts. Normally we get them about every week, and I think it's from a man who wants to be back in his race car. Right. He's watching this practice. He's reading the notes. I'm sure he's talking to his team members on the telephone. This is his race team. Jeff Gordon, to Jeff's defense, has continually said this is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s race team. The name is on the roof. The name is on the windshield. He's just a fill-in driver. I think he's done a great job deflecting those questions because he is Jeff Gordon, a 4-time champion. But I think that tweet just proves that Dale Earnhardt Jr., his health is his #1 concern, which he should be. But right behind that, he loves being in a race car, and what you hear by all these communications is he wants to be back in the car.
Hendrick Motorsports over the past few weeks have been in a slump. But they come to a racetrack where they've had incredible success. 17 wins. Jeff Gordon, 6 wins on his own of those 17. 12 poles. Ken Schrader, 5 of those poles for Hendrick Motorsports. And then, of course, the most top 5 finishes, 67 top 5 finishes. Again, Jeff Gordon leading that category, and as well as laps led.
And, you know, this is a track that, Jeff, you and I had this conversation about. When you go back and look, this is one of the tracks that I thought Hendrick had the most success in early in the year. 7 weeks ago, they were the 2 cars that had to be passed by the 41 for the win. So it's very interesting to see just 7 weeks later to see how much speed they have. We were actually eavesdropping to the 88 a minute ago.
Yeah, we need to, forget about that tunnel turn. I got to change the way I'm driving it because we kill the rest of the track by trying to fix that. As soon as the car gets rotated, I'm just loose everywhere.
You hear a little bit of disappointment, but what I like is a veteran driver saying, you know what, I appreciate you guys trying to help me in the corner I was having the most trouble with, but when you get me comfortable there, you've ruined the lap time. We talked about lap times earlier in the show, right? The goal in this practice, Jeff, is to be comfortable and be fast. And sometimes you can't have both.
Well, especially in all 3 corners. At this racetrack, all 3 corners are completely different, so you have to compromise somewhere. You can't be perfect everywhere, and that's a veteran saying, hey, look, I'll fix the tunnel turn. Get me better everywhere else.
A tight turn 1, 14 degrees. About a 90-degree turn. Turn 2 is 8 degrees, and turn 3 just 6 degrees.